is Margaret Molly Brown, and I'm sitting in my formal parlor at my house, the Molly Brown House Museum, that's located at 1340 Pennsylvania. If you ever have an opportunity, you must come and visit. There's lots going on down here. A lot of things going on this year about women's rights. Because this year, we're celebrating 100 years that we nationally could vote. So that's an important thing to remember. But instead of talking about all of that, I'm going to read you a story about Ada and the number crunching machine. This is Ada. Now Ada might look like an ordinary little girl, but the truth is Ada changed the world. Ada loved numbers and solving problems. Big problems, little problems, and tricky, complicated problems. She read all the books in the library, solved big sums, and invented crazy contraptions. Ada was just like her mother, Annabelle Melbanke, who was very clever and spent her days studying math and science and taking tea with the smartest people in London. She also read all the books in the library. Ada loved poetry and art. She painted big, messy pictures and wrote very long letters, and she was wild and romantic, bad-tempered and moody. This was because she was just like her father, the famous Lord Byron. Byron was brilliant with words and spent his days roaming the country writing poetry. He was also quite bad-tempered, which drove everyone around him crazy. In those days, little girls like Ada didn't get to go to school. This might sound a little like a wonderful plan, but it was very, very boring. Young girls like Ada were only expected to sing and dance, sew, paint, and draw. Ada was lucky. Her mother believed that girls should have the same opportunities as boys, and she found lots of bright people to come and teach Ada in their home. The teachers brought maps of far-off lands, star charts of the galaxy, plans for wild inventions and amazing machines, lots of different animals, birds and bugs to study, and beautiful plants to draw. As you can imagine, Ada was a very good pupil. And as she grew older, her teacher became her friends. Her best friend was Mr. Charles Babbage, an inventor and mathematical genius. At the time, Charles was working on a fantastic new idea that he couldn't wait to share with Ada. One day, a postcard arrived from Italy, and it said, "My dear Ada, having a terrific time in Turin. I've been telling people about a wonderful invention I've been building. It's a big counting machine that will solve the longest sums you can imagine, an amazing number, crunching mathematical masterpiece. What do you think? Wish you were here. The ice cream is very good indeed. Yours truly, Charles." Taking this inspiration from a huge mechanical factories of the Industrial Revolution, Charles imagined a big machine with lots of moving parts. The machine would be fed with large cards, each punched through with a pattern of holes. The holes would tell the machine what to do. And thought this was a wonderful idea and immediately set to work. She began scribbling pages and pages of notes, swapping numbers for letters and letters for symbols. Her brain was fizzing with excitement. If the machine could be told how to add up big sums of numbers, that maybe it could tell how to solve problems too. Using her love of words and numbers, Ada wrote a special code that would tell the machine what to do. They called it the analytical engine, and do you know what we call that machine today? The computer. Our world would be a very different place if it hadn't been for Ada and Charles and their invention. Their thoughts and ideas for the amazing number crunching machine were the start of the very first computer, made from then 100 years later. Ada changed our world. She was able to see things differently. She was clever, inventive, and creative, and looked at a problem from all angles. She was a true pioneer. Now that is a lesson to be learned, because I'm sure all of you have a computer or have some kind of device, and just think about the days when they were punching holes in cards to add up numbers. So you should appreciate all the technology that you have. I'm glad you were able to listen to the story about Ada, and if you have an opportunity to visit the museum at 1340 Pennsylvania, please do. And thank you so much for joining me.